All right, fans, we're going to talk to Ed Lynch Jr., the 2002 winner of the Don Martin Memorial. This is your home track. 4 championships. You've won titles. Dad's won titles. But it doesn't give you an edge because you got some pretty tough customers coming into town.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime the World of Outlaws come into town, it's going to be a challenge, and they're going to race you every lap. And, we got twin 30s here to do. So, when the checker flag falls on the first one, everybody forgets about that one, and it's time to get ready for the next one. So it's a pretty neat deal. And when you have the best in the country here for the fans all to see, it's great. So it makes me sit up in the seat a little taller, too.
The year you won, 2002, I was an on-track announcer, and the stands were rocking. I mean, you could feel the seats vibrating, even the guys that don't like you, because on a given night, the fans, some love Ed Lynch Jr. and some don't.
Yeah.
But that's what puts people in the seats. But they were all cheering for you, and I'm a pretty big guy, 6'2", about 265. One of your crew guys come down, he was about 125, and tackled me and almost knocked me over. People were excited.
Yeah, the adrenaline was flying here for the locals that night, and the car was very easy to drive. I could have done another 30 laps. I think at that time it was 40 laps. I think, and I think it's just one of those times. It was a full moon night, because I'll never forget that. I always said that's what sucked Mark Kinzer off of turn 2 was the full moon, the draw of that. But no, it was an awesome race. As a matter of fact, me and my 2 boys, we watch it every night before we come back. So we watched it on the CD last night, and it was one heck of a race. I mean, second, third, fourth, fifth, it was changing. Every turn it was changing, and it was one heck of a race. It was a good showcase for Lernerville, and obviously very nice for me.
Well, how about the fans? Timmy Schaefer's chasing you, 2 former Lernerville champions, battling it out. Timmy said that Roth, his car owner at the time, still complaining about that because he didn't get you. But and the fans, who do we cheer for? 2 local guys doing a really nice job.
Yes, it was a great job, and Tim was able to come back and get his vengeance back. He was able to win it a few years later, and so it is important to us, and it's a big event for us for the sprint cars. And Don Martin would be proud of what he started, and Ted Johnson, and now the corporate and everything changes. And look at this. I mean, this is nice for the fans. This is
very nice. Viewpoint Productions and Advanced Video Solutions really putting this together, and it's going to be archived and also live streaming on the internet. Now, in addition to winning one, you also had a second place here in one of the races.
Yeah, that one, it's like, well, the year after, we were fast also, had the same car, same engine, had everything ready, and I think we got time trials in, and that was all. It rained out both days. So we had to wait till the following year. So the following year, we didn't end up with the same car or anything, but we had a pretty nice car, and we were leading, and then there was a red flag, and then the purge tank on the radiator broke off, and then all the water went under the tires, and I ended up second. I'm not complaining, but nobody remembers who finished second. It's always a winner.
I always talk about the family. Your oldest son, pretty good ball player going to college. Your youngest son, really into the racing. It's special when they can be part of what you do.
Oh, absolutely. We just came from Eldor out to Kings Royal, and people were coming up to us, car owners from other competitors and stuff, and they're saying, this is really nice. You got your whole family working here, and everybody does their thing, and you're being very competitive. And they said, that's got to be refreshing to you. And I said, well, that's the way I had to start. It wasn't, like this, but it was in, the PRA deals and jalopies and things like that. But with my dad, but then we graduated into modifieds and sprint cars and Silver Crown cars. So we've always kept it a family deal, and I never regretted it, and I don't think my boys have done either.
Well, you mentioned your dad, a multi-time champion in the modifieds and the sprint cars at a lot of the tracks in the area. But I've always, when I mention your mom, probably one of the most knowledgeable women in motorsports, both of them in the Hall of Fame. You'll be joining them at some time in the future. You were destined to race and have success.
Well, I had a tough role to follow in both my mother and my father. My mother is probably my biggest critic if I don't do well, and she'll tell me. But it's always been that way, and she was that way with my father, and she knows racing, and my father knows both sides of racing too, the behind the steering wheel and from the other side. So it's we've really enjoyed the growth of this sport in this area, and we have really enjoyed it throughout the country, and we try to make our mark and try to be as fast as we can wherever we go, and that's racing.
We want to wrap this up by thanking people involved with the team and your crew.
Yes, I have Eric Womerdorf, that's our chief mechanic, and then I have my boys, Ed the Third and Cy, and I have other people that help out with us, my mother and father, and it's just the Mercedes Motorsports, the large construction, and Precise Racing, and J&J Chassis, and Kistler Engines, VRP Shocks, and that's about it, Weld Wheels.
The biggest compliment you could have is when the Outlaws come in and they ask you for advice on the track. That has to make you feel special.
Well, yes, I've earned my respect with them, and they've had respect, from me to them. So, they're out on the road, they're traveling all the time. They see all these tracks, all the facilities, and they come to an area and they want to seek out who does well here, who's seen it all here, and then they want to talk to them and find out about it. And that's the way you ought to do it. And they adapt very quickly, as you will see.
We're talking to the 2002 Don Martin winner and multi-time track champion, Ed Lynch Jr. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, Don.